Hey all, it's Xenoxis. This is back with another Grindspots. Now this is part 7, I think. I mean, I can always see because when I name the videos, basically I can almost auto-fill in the name and stuff like that, which is really nice. And I'm using actually 2 slots for it. You can see level 99 grind there. That save I did immediately when I got Yuffie, so you kind of know how long it took to reach there and stuff like that. You can see there, you know how quick the leveling is. That is just like 1 hour, and it's just also look at the game. That's pretty insane. So you can see also we have all level 3 limit breaks already at that point. So yeah, it basically only takes really an hour once you've gotten like Yuffie and stuff like that, and like to get all the limit breaks, even if you're only at level 1 limit break. So yeah, so setup, of course, we use boomerang, copper bangle, we use copper bangle on everyone. I actually stole a bunch of copper bangles. And hard edge, of course. Magic comb you got in the thing, but yeah. So she's using all materia with fire. She's using restore. She's using steel. She's using throw, chocobolur, and cover materia. Even though she doesn't have the highest health, she did actually for a while because she was actually several levels ahead. Because you get her at level 17, and the other characters at that point aren't going to be level 17. Grindspot, Red 13 is using Poison, Earth, and Shock Mode in the double growth slots. Then all materia with heal, because that will, I believe, all will work with Asuna, hopefully, as of that, so Sense as well. And then Claude is using Elemental with Lightning, he's using Sense, he's using Enemy Skill with Mathematic, and he's using Long Range, Ice, and all materia. Keep on, of course, that all will go relatively fast. Now, normally I sometimes equip all into the Magic Comb slots and stuff like that because it's the first, double growth weapon and stuff like that, but we don't need to. I haven't used any of the sources I gotten and stuff like that, and on this character I didn't buy any quote-unquote gear pieces, so I didn't buy any mithril armlets and stuff like that, any, like the Titan thing, I even actually sold the Titan thing and stuff like that. And used bronze bangles on every of the characters and stuff like that up until we got to the Sinna building. And of course that made it so that I got like less AP for certain weapons and stuff like that, but yeah. You can see the Barret has atomic scissors, forest, so Yuffster, forest, potential, because potential Grindspot and striking staff. So yeah, and it is better to kind of have it like up here and stuff like that. I'm going to go to time speed and over to the limit break zone and stuff like that, even though you technically don't really need it. But this is of course the worst encounter you can get here. So I can show that you can kill it with automatic. You can of course kill it with something. The boomerang of course is gotten in the forest as well. We're gonna do about an hour of this. I'm also gonna actually do a file thing. Yeah, this is the other encounter, one of the other encounters. There are actually only 3 encounters you can get basically at this point. I forgot that. I call the main character Yuffie and stuff. That's it. Can be a bit confusing at first, but yeah, Yeah, that's the second best encounter. And then we should be getting the best encounter. Yes, there it is. 5 of them. 5 of them, and they're called wire something. They're called actually Kappa wire is what they're called. So it's almost like Kappa with the K and stuff like that. So that would be like Flame wire or whatever, right? But why don't they call them Mandragoras? I mean, they do look like Mandragoras, right? Like this is what Mandragoras are supposed to be, kinda. Yeah. And it gives you the 300 AP, 300 experience and 30 AP. Which by the way translates into 64 double growth materia, because that's how double growth actually works. Stuff like that, so it just takes the AP value and just doubles it for the specific character. But and only for the materia in that specific plot, right? Because it fix that. And Mathematic is really good because I always used to think that Mathematic didn't scale with like magic damage and stuff like that, but it actually does. So Mathematic can actually get pretty strong. But it can only scale up to a certain point, I think. I don't think that Mathematic, even if you have like Mathematic stat, I don't think it does like 9099 damage or whatever with Mathematic, but still. But because they do have base power, I believe. A lot of spells do have like a certain base power to them that is used first before certain things are calculated. Same thing with limit breaks. Certain limit breaks are very, very bad. Earth Rave is actually very, very good, by the way, for Red 13, because I believe that is actually his multi-hitter limit break. Like, a lot of people don't know that Red 13 does have a multi-hitter stuff that. So I don't know if I showed you before when we did the district hit, because it's not it says it's an Earth spell, but it's not. But there's not that many hits to it, right? It's like 5 or 6 hits or something like that. They can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 6 or 7 hits maybe to it, so yeah. So you can see you're actually getting this encounter fairly often. The 5 encounter and stuff there, because there are only 3 enemies you can encounter in this part of the forest. And basically it's over all of this main forest basically, but if you go to any of the smaller forests, then there's also another encounter, I believe. I believe you can also encounter only 2 of the birds as well, but I've not seen it here. So this is of course the worst encounter that you can possibly get, because, you know, and this encounter still gives you 120. That is better experience than Train Graveyard. That is better experience than First Reactor. That's better experience than the 5th Reactor. It's not better experience though, right, than the Syndra HQ, and it's not better experience than the what do you call it? Than Demetri Mines. But otherwise, I mean, like, yeah, sometimes this happens. You get golden in a row and stuff like that, but you know, the fact that you only have 3 encounters means you have a very, very high chance to get the... And you can also, I believe, you can get the 5 encounter a few times in a row. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you can get it 2 times in a row. Oh, 3 times in a row even, you know, and stuff that's like... you know, which is good, you know. Of course, her, because of her dexterity being high, I also have her with steel, of course, so dexterity is pretty decent, of course. You could, of course, I could have bought, you know, more steels. Of course, although I forget, like, if steel stacks infinitely, if you just buy a bunch of steels, you can just stack up the, if you can stack up the thing, yeah. Keep in mind that it's better to stack all the kills on one character, just because of, you know, everyone's grudge and stuff like that. Although technically if we get all of the kills on Claude, then it's not gonna be good in the battle arena, because you can encounter a Tonberry in the battle arena. Although I forgot if that Tonberry used everyone's grudge or not. But I mean, you can kill that Tonberry in one combo basically once you're strong enough. So basically I wanna get up to of course the next grind spot is gonna be the Union grind spot. So I wanna basically do a file, which we're gonna do off screen, by the way, like off recording. And on that one we're gonna play basically up until after the Demetri Mines, so I can show you the Fort Condor battle and stuff like that. And I know that there's a lot of Fort Condor encounters. There's one Fort Condor encounters which is off the bottom swell, like the boss, but before you enter the water, before you even interact with the dolphin, you're supposed to go back. And then there's one when you have entered the water, but before you jump up on the pole, then there's another encounter and stuff like that. Now this encounter doesn't give you that great stuff, and I don't know if you need to do those encounters in order to be able to get like the Super Ball later on. And the Super Ball, you can get it later, I believe, as in one of the shops, I believe. But if you want to get Super Ball when it becomes available, Super Ball is of course I believe it does actually have slots to it. And all stuff that, or maybe Super Ball is the other thing, but yeah. The thing that I found annoying though about the wall map music, this music is super loud. Like if you're playing the game late, for example, like even if I put down the volume on the television to the lowest, wow, that's 2 in a row, right? Or is that 3 in a row even? of course, keep in mind that once you get up to certain like levels, you start like requiring a lot of XP. So that's you can see she's still far ahead. Stuff there, but that is because, you know, like she started at level 17, and the other characters at that point were like 3 or 4 levels behind and stuff like that. And yes, sure, now they're almost like caught up and stuff like that, but still, it's gonna take a long time for them to caught up, because I don't think that at any point she requires that massively more XP than the other characters do and stuff like that. So yeah. And yeah, and even though Red 13 usually starts higher than Claw does, you know, he will require more XP than Claw does for levels. And Red 13 is actually very powerful. Like I keep forgetting that Red 13's HP wise is actually, his HP growth is actually even better than Barrett's. Like he's actually tankier than Barrett. Which, you know, a lot of people are surprised that, oh yeah, they're turning Red 13 into a tank. But I mean, he always was a tank. Because I think the reason why they do that, for example, is you see at what the character's HP growth is. Now this is of course with materia equipped, so his HP is actually less by quite a bit, because you have to realize like, okay, how much minus does he have? You have 2% minus on that, 2%, 2%, 2%. So he has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he had 8% less HP than he should have, and stuff that. Yuffie only is minus 4%. And Claude is also minus 4% with his HP stats and stuff. Of course, the thing is though, when doing the Union grind, getting Force Stealer in what they call it, getting Force Stealer in Corel is actually better when doing the Union grind, because you want to pick up the HP plus materia. Because the main problem with the HP Plus material is the HP Plus material is expensive. And HP Plus is extremely useful when doing the Union grind and stuff like that, and also when getting like beta from Snake. And also you get your second enemy skill material, you get that in Union. That's the second location for enemy skill material. There's actually 4 enemy skill materials I believe in the game. Or there's another one of those. Yeah, that's actually interesting, because Primitive Strike has a chance to happen, and I believe it's affected by luck stats specifically and dexterity combined or something like that. I forgot exactly how it works, because you don't need Primitive Strike material to make Primitive Strikes happen often, and I think it's also dependent on your level, so once you over level something you have a higher chance, I think, to get Primitive Strikes. I've seen actually Primitive Strike twice now on the boss, in the super boss. But taking advantage of that when you have 3 times speed is very, very hard and stuff like that. Master Magic only cost 8 though, it's pretty insane. So you can see 422 is what that costs for, you know, the thing. Eventually of course the elemental materia, I could of course stick it onto Grindspots and stuff that would be useful, you know, of course. But yeah, but the thing is, for example, if we can get the fire and have it, but like the thing is though that we can go back and of course get beta from the snake guy and stuff like that. From the snake, of course. But the thing is, almost no matter what level you are, you want to make sure to have the damage of beta, because beta hits really hard. And beta is basically what you need to defeat the enemies in the place. Because when doing the Union grind, if you're just rushing and you're not taking that many encounters, then it's going to be extra hard dealing with encounters, because those encounters are pretty high level. It's not only that they're high level, but you're gonna spend a lot of MP to just kill them and stuff that, which means you wanna have as high MP casters as possible, or high magic stat casters as possible. But you might say, oh, don't use Arid, because Arid, you know, stuff like that, yeah. Of course, sadly, you cannot have Vincent at that part, you know. You can have Vincent, of course, in the later grind, because Vincent is basically like a black mage, but with a gun. because Vincent actually has the best magic stat, I think, next to Aerith. Yeah, but actually both Yuffie and Red 13's magic stat is not that bad. Okay, she's only one level higher than Claude, but she has 53 in magic, he has 54, so they're kind of equal in magic a lot. He only has 51, even though he has the most magic, so yeah. So keep in mind he has 4+ magic with what he wields. He has Claude has 2+ magic, and she also has 2+ magic, so yeah. But you can see she has 20% chance to dodge, basically. There is no magic defense percentage yet, though. And yeah, one thing also is that, yes, the magic defense stat work. After a certain PC version came out, the magic defense stat actually started working and stuff like that. And I believe the PlayStation version, or specifically the PS4 version of this remaster, has been patched quite a lot of times, so I believe it's in this version as well. The magic defense actually does what it's supposed to do and stuff like that. Yeah. Because the thing is, when magic defense didn't work, that meant of course that elemental material is actually stronger when magic defense doesn't work, because that means that having a specific element is really powerful. Also, there are certain attacks that can be actually pretty hard to figure out what element they are. Like a lot of people might not know, for example, that Diamond Weapon is actually weak to lightning for whatever weird reason. And stuff like that. And Diamond Weapon is of course that where you get the best double growth weapon from. Another thing is Yuffie, Vincent, and Sid. All of their double growth weapon has one thing in common. All of them have linked slots, or one set of black. Peacemaker is 3 slots, just like Magic Combo. It's like all the first, you know, all the first double growth weapon that you get are always 3 slots, and then the other ones are 4 slots. And basically, so Peacemaker is like 1 linked slot, 1 empty slot. Same thing with Wind Slash for Yuffie, for example. But for example, Magic Comb, Motor Drive, the Force Stealer, and for any other character basically, that isn't Vincent, Yuffie, or all of them, you have 3 single slots basically. And same thing with the next double growth weapons. Those are like 4 slots and stuff like that. But then of course her ultimate double growth weapon has only single slots to it. I don't think the slots on Rising Sun are linked. It was actually a one since I checked everything. That's of course technically the best double growth weapon, because it's the double growth weapon with the highest stats on it. Which I mean, doesn't mean that much, you know, because you want to stick with double growth most of the time, because it's just like so helpful against bosses. But it also means that when you're in Disc 2, for example, you want to do the Chocobo stuff, but we want to not use 3 times speed when doing the Chocobos. Because when I wrote up the guide, I wrote up a certain guide how to get the golden chocobo, or on how exactly to feed them. And if you do that single thing every single time, and you do a certain amount of encounters every single time, instead of that, you can manipulate the RNG to always give you the same results. You can always get a green chocobo first, for example, if you want to. And the thing is, with the green chocobo, you can get to the death penalty place earlier. And the way it works is that you need a certain amount of encounters. That's what actually triggers it. It's not like, oh, you have to advance far enough into the story. I don't think that was the case. It actually has to do with the encounters that you do and stuff like that, yeah. So she has a 28. What is a 28 as well? But keep in mind, for example, the fact that those give you 300, for example, then that means that 10 of those fights will of course be 3,000. That means 100 of those fights will be 30,000. And like how long does it take me to get 30,000 to level? Because at that point you can figure out, okay, you need to get 100 of these encounters at that point. Once you need like 30,000 to level up. And I believe that will be before you reach level 40. I think that might be at level 34 is probably what I calculated, because, you know, or something for my bit high. But the thing is, like, the reason why you don't grind in these spots, for example, to level 99, is because once you reach a certain level threshold, like, things are just very, very slow. Like, a place needs to give above 1,000 or 2,000 XP even to be viable, I would say, for even getting to level, to getting to the really, really high levels of that. And even when you're doing the magic pot grind right to level 99, it still takes a while to do. Of course, that's gonna be 3 stars now on the whole materia. And it still requires less than the thing, but yeah. So that's the good fire materia that he there, but yeah. It's gonna be very powerful when he reaches Bio 3 and stuff that. It's gonna be pretty crazy. So. Keep in mind in Yunon that after you have saved the good at the beats in Yunon, for example, you are then locked out to only having Claude in the party, which is very important to remember and stuff like that. Meaning, if your Claude is not strong enough, for example, if you're playing the base game, for example, and you want to do the whole, but then you cannot, of course, have encounters turned off so that you're all going to be higher level and stuff like that, just, you know, unless you run from every battle or whatever. Okay, almost level 30 soon. So she needs level 30 and that's going to be 5,790 soon. And yeah, so this is kind of like a dark angel, I guess, because usually they have like the dark green, right, and then they usually have like a white thing on the like the shoulder pad or whatever. But yeah. But it's hard to make like the colors look good, because if you actually go with two of the corners being in one color, then that looks like way, way worse, because then it's hard to see the dark green and stuff like that. Oh wow, now we have over 104,000. I forgot how much the house is on this one, because the mansion that you can buy is actually pretty cheap. On this one it's actually the cheapest to get it and stuff like that. So yeah. You keep in mind also that the Yuno grind, the thing is that you cannot activate it when you're there the first time. And I'm guessing the explanation is the fact that you have the Cinder costume on and stuff like that, and you cannot like raise the alarm when you're there, you know, with the Cinder and stuff like that, because then your costume or your disguise would get busted pretty much. And the thing is, the first time is that you cannot travel back to Yunon after you have gone to Costa del Sol until after Gold Solstice, and you've gotten the buggy pretty much. So, on that file I will also go to the place. But maybe you want to see from the beginning again, you know, stuff like that. Because sometimes it's about like the fact that you have to take like different decisions, because that time around I don't want to steal anything, so that means that I'm gonna have to buy armor and stuff like that. But then the question is like, okay, like how important is to buy the armor? Because, you know, it depends on, of course, how much MP or how much, you know, how much material slots you're gonna need to have and stuff like that. Because yes, you can get carbon bangles, of course, in a certain place. But yeah, we have ways, of course, that you need to go to Cosmo Canyon in order to get silver armlets. And I don't think that you can steal silver armlets anywhere like you can like gold armlets and stuff like that, which is important. But you see, we're getting these 5 encounter very, very often, you know, which is absolutely fantastic, you know, that you're getting it very, very often. And the thing is, even if you're only getting the 30 AP instead of the 60, that means that 10 fights are like 300 AP and stuff like that. And it also means that 100 fights are like 2,000 AP and stuff like that. Or 600 and 6,000 respectively, because yeah, 10 fights, 300 AP, 100 fights, 3,000, right, yeah. And same thing there with 60 being then 600 and then it being 6,000 and stuff like that, AP, just like that too. Of course, and keep in mind, of course, once everything has, once you have the double growth, of course, on every character. And so that, like, the main problem is, of course, is that a lot of character gets their double growth weapons early. And because of that, of course, their strength with the double growth weapons won't be that great. Which is why when you get, for example, when you get Vincent, he's, of course, his first double growth weapon will be the Peacemaker. The main problem is, of course, the Peacemaker was picked up way earlier. So the Peacemaker isn't that great in terms of how strong it is. But there are certain characters, for example, like Sid specifically. Sid's double growth weapon are all gotten on disc 2. Like the first one basically requires you to be on the screen that you cannot go into until you reach disc 2 basically. Because you're not allowed to go to the north, basically. But because basically when you go north and you go up, when you jump up on the thing, it takes you all the way up after Eric has died and you have switched the disc, basically you go north and then basically there's a thing that has like several bones and then you jump up on it or you interact with it and then you automatically jump all the way up and then you run around a bit and into the mountain and then you get to the climbing section. But when you're there on that screen you can go behind the structure and then that's where you find the Viper halberd. And then the other thing is the javelin. It's the other double weapon for him. And that one is found on Gaia's Cliff. I forgot exactly where it is, if it's near where the ribbon is. Because in Gaia's Cliff, of course, the ribbon is kind of hidden a bit. So, but yeah. I used to think the ribbon was so good, and yeah, sure the ribbon is good, but there isn't that many status effects that's really that great to protect against, you know, and stuff that. And there might be certain specific encounters where it's really great to have, but otherwise, you know. That's great. That wasn't what the monster I was thinking, by the way, because we got the new ones of these again. The Nitro Cosmic Peaks. So I believe it's a new flavor, or at least here in this region it is a new flavor. So we're level 30-ish soon now, that's gonna be pretty great, considering how much lower that is, like in the first reactor and stuff that. But keep in mind, of course, in the first reactor I didn't just grind at the best spot and stuff that, and it took me a while to discover that spot and stuff that. And even, for example, like in the first reactor, the encounter where you get 98 XP, that happens pretty often. But in the second reactor, the best encounter, for example, which is with 5 enemies, that gives you 112 XP, that's basically 14 XP more than in the first reactor, which is, by the way, a pretty huge deal when going to 99 Macro, that 14 XP doesn't matter that much, but it actually matters quite a lot and stuff like that. But keep in mind, of course, it is gonna take 99 plus hours. At least, and I think even with 3 times speed, right, and even if you kill the enemy in like 1 turn and you get encounters off, then it's just gonna take a long time, like no matter what and stuff, then because, you know, the thing is just once you get up to a certain point, for example, I think at level 50, right, you almost need like 60,000, I think it is, to level, right? Like at least that was separate requires, right? Separate requires 60,000, but here you can of course not gain any levels and stuff. But still, right? It's pretty insane. But there are also like the thing is, you know, like the funny thing is like a lot of Americans might not understand it, but for example, games are code that US and Japan people got, they got like games are codes, but in the European region you cannot use, for example, codes for separate or whatever, you know, and stuff like that, because you cannot use like games and stuff like that. But I don't know if this version, for example, if this version would be compatible with GameShark, you know, or if they could add like GameShark codes to the game or something like that, or that you could use them, or that they can make it like a program in the game, or you could use like the codes that do exist and stuff like that. Because there is of course one code, for example, that like an honorary code of course makes separate controllable, like separate used auto does stuff. But I believe the separate can actually level up and stuff that like that separate can actually level up. But it has like no limit breaks and stuff like that. Now I don't know how hard it would be to like program in like a proper separate into this if you could program it into the like the remaster and stuff, that if you could like release like a DLC for it to give like a control but separate and stuff like that, because yeah. Okay, so that's all. That's gonna be another 3-all material. Keep in mind that's not on the double growth even. Stuff like that, so yeah. I'm gonna get 3 stars now, almost on Shokumog. I probably should have shown you Shokumog a few times, because you get, depending on the level of it, you're getting the very special thing like more often. Yeah. And I haven't decided how many slots of it's gonna, because sometimes right I wanna save when I've reached certain places, right, and there might be like certain other like I might go into another, you know, save slot and stuff that with some of the saves once I reach basically like 99 hours, like okay, like how long or what level did I make to in 99 hours, like so it's all gonna be really, really interesting to see, right? So that, but I don't know if it has been programmed in yet, because I believe like the timer, it looks like the timer has been moved here to allow way more than 99 hours, because it would be cool to actually say, okay, like how long did it actually take to get to, how long did it actually take to reach 99, you know, on a certain file and stuff like that, yeah. But the thing is also is that the point of these are not to show that, oh, I can reach level 99, right, because it's grinding and stuff like that. But the point is to also show, like okay, like how quickly can you reach, for example, level 50, right? Like what is the speed to reach level 50, for example, because basically at level 50 you can pretty much beat the game once you level 50, right? And of course, yes, you can beat it at lower level also, but level 50 is, you know, like a very, very good spot, you know, and stuff like that. For doing like certain things and stuff like that. And yes, you can do a more weapon lower than level 50, you can actually be pretty low when doing them if you know what you're doing. Especially if you use Hades or the hold. You can on the weapon, he's weak to the certain item that you can get several of, or you can use W item with it, you know, and stuff like that. So, of the dazers, pretty much is what it's called. And I believe dazers you steal from a certain enemy, I forgot which one it is, but yeah. Right, so she's level 30 now. So you can see how much XP it's in total basically to reach certain things. But she's at, yeah, 65,000. The odd seems that he's actually gonna be he's gonna need way less. You know, start up because, yeah. But I think it's because is that Yuffie is a very, very powerful character and stuff like that. That's the whole thing. And of course this again is the worst encounter, which is still 120 and 12 AP. I forgot to talk about how much the formula is, the formula encounter. Speaking of the formula encounter, these birds actually looks very cool. These birds are of course the same birds as the Harrier birds. Their birds is basically a reskin of them. This encounter is 195, and that's actually higher, I think, right, than all the thinner building encounters and stuff like that. I forgot what the highest was in the in the material mines and stuff. That what the highest was. But I mean, technically you could go and get the magic hole in the material mines encounter, but I don't want to allow that because, you know, because I feel like that should be more of a thing that you do when you like getting Yuffie and stuff like that. Like, you're not gonna go all the way out of the material mines to get like the magic home and then go all the way back in, you know, like, you know. I mean, so you can do it right, but if I allow like certain things, like okay, you can go all the way here, you know, or you can, you know, because as long as you don't go into the beach, you can do a bunch of stuff in Yunon. But of course, you won't be able to get access to the good stores that are in the upper parts of Yunon. Although I believe there is a way to glitch into the elevator as well, and stuff that. Glitching into the elevator actually skips the boss fight, but then you won't get Shiba if you do that. Also, the thing that I would say is that if you, for example, if you skip, like if you do all of the huge material properly, you do all the other huge materials correctly, but the one huge material you do wrong is the, what do you call it, the submarine thing. Then you will, the only thing that you won't get is the blue huge material. And that huge material, its only purpose, or the cyan color or whatever it is, the only purpose of it is to keep Bahamut 0, and otherwise just to pick up Bahamut 0. It's very important and stuff like that, because yeah. Of course, the thing though is that if you miss any of the other huge materials, then you miss out on it permanently, and then the only way that you get a master command, a master summon, and master magic, because it's basically master magic, master command, master summon. And keep in mind when it comes to getting like master command materia, it doesn't remove certain of your materials. For example, it doesn't remove like double cut, because double cut doesn't count, because double cut is its own like unique thing and stuff that, because you know, stuff that. But I believe that slash all is actually part of the master command materia and stuff that, but yeah. Like you need death blow, you need throw, death blow, throw, slash all, steal, sense, morph. I think those are it that you need for the. Oh, and right, you need to have like enemy skill and stuff there, because with master command you get. Or is enemy skill individual? I think enemy skill might be individual, but it's really annoying to get all of the enemy skills and stuff there, because you know. Although technically yes, you can encounter the dragon zombie in a certain place of the Northern Crater and you can get Pandora's box. But yeah. But the best thing is of course that if you dodge, for example, something, if you for example would dodge Midgard Solom, then you know. How much long can we record it? Okay, so should we go on fight actually? I think at level 30 it's very doable actually to survive. Okay, so one more fight. And we're actually gonna be doing the some element of where's fire? Fire is on her, okay. So give him fire. Give her all and have all and so that gives him elemental and fire, and that gives you half fire damage. But yeah, but I believe also that, as I explained last time, if you, for example, there are certain elements that don't show up here that Cedric will actually help against. Cedric will also help against shoot, cut, because all of these are different elements. Like shoot is what Barrett uses on auto weapons, but there are certain weapons or Barretts that aren't shoot. They're like shoot, cut, and not blunt, but you know, there are some weird elements out there, but yeah. So how much does he need? He needs fantasy for 100 kills. Now you might say, oh, but why pick a bait on this file? But it's still used, you know, to show you how to get bait cannon and most of that. This should be enough, right? Oh. One more encounters. Now the thing is, because we don't want to slay. Okay, there we go. I think this will be high enough. I can say yes, 4 hours for level 30. That is pretty good. Because here, when we go here, for example, at level 32 there, this 7 hours 32 minutes. 6 hours and 6 minutes for level 30, so 2 levels in kind of 1 hour. That definitely slows up. Eventually you're gonna actually need 1 hour per level. So that, yeah, now. Wait, is it? No, it's not up there. It is up here. Because it's on the other side of there. It's not. Oh, yeah, because it's very, very near, close to Fort Condor. Which is weird. I've already looted the stuff in the cave, by the way, so yeah. Okay. I need to face off against the snake. And actually it's best to put everyone in back row actually for this fight. Because the thing is, like beta, for example, if you don't have high enough defense, then beta will hit hard. Just wait here. And we're gonna send the MFR first. So he has 4,000. Does he survive a meteor rain is the question. We're only doing that to fill up again, basically. Because of course you don't want to... Right, I actually need to remember that. Yeah, we don't have really any way to heal. I'm not using the triple speed here. But we do have a way to heal actually. Okay, attack it once. Isn't the magic counter the thing, right? Is the magic counter is the question. Oops, I'm casting it on her there. Okay, we survived it, no problem, and then we just do more the living. Okay. That should be better. I bet I did very little damage here, but keep in mind that we have it and it did like 500 damage, so it would have been dealing over 1000 damage. But if you get there, for example, with low enough level, it will be really bad, so yeah. So yes, you lose out your sadness status from that, so... do actually get some use for the hype from the hype potions. So now we have beta. And here one we show here some beta cost 35 MB to cast. But beta is of course the super important stuff that you need to have to get to really stand a chance in to actually stand a chance in the Union grind, pretty much, yeah. But yeah, so at level 30 you have no problem surviving it with the whole, you know, elemental and fire, taking less damage from the fire and stuff, but yeah. But I'm actually gonna leave the materia here. I'm gonna leave the materia as is there with the whole fire, you know, taking less damage from fire and stuff, of course, yeah. Now technically though, there is no way to take less damage from them, you know, from there. So we turn it off, we save again. Right, we need him in front row. Yeah. Go. How much longer? Okay. And let me show you damage here with maybe like turning that off. Super mega slow motion, yeah, because it's gonna be this slow when you go from it, but yeah. So yeah, it's almost 1700. But keep in mind that you're doing like way less damage to the enemies in Union and stuff that, yes, they do give you a shit ton of XP and stuff that, like in comparison to basically everywhere else, you know, and stuff there, but yeah. But then when it comes to feature grind, the annoying thing is there is gonna be a part when I'm gonna have to test out all of the Grindspots at one point, because otherwise it's just going to be very, very annoying, because basically at one point when you get a tiny Bronco, then you have access to, I think it's 3 Grindspots technically, and one of the Grindspots is going to be Vitae, and in Vitae you have access to both the mountains outside Vitae, further up, and then you have access to close to Vitae, and those encounters are different there. And then you have access to the mountain inside the city itself. And so that, as one of the Grindspots. Then you have access to, of course, the Temple of Ancient Grindspot as well. And you also have access to Medell Grindspot. And all of these Grindspots, of course, you know, vastly different and stuff like that, but then having to make like 3 files for each of those specific Grindspots. And all of them are like 100% Grindspot next to like 4, like, because from the 100% Grindspots, it's like Corel, the train tracks in Corel, which is one of the Grindspots. Then another one is Mountain Nibel, because Mountain Nibel is usually good. Because, you know, Mountain Nibel is good not only because you can get like gold armlet, you can get gold armlets there from the green van, and there's also some materia there and some treasure chests also that you can loot that are very, very, very good as well. Yeah, 31, okay. So yeah, so now she requires 8100 to level up. So yeah, 13 defense percent. Yeah, you actually don't get any magic defense percent at all from any of the stats. I think even from like spirit and stuff, that like dexterity only gives you defense percentage. Stuff that. And defense percentage is actually how much you dodge a physical attack. It's not how much you dodge a magical attack. So yeah. But there's a lot of attacks that counts as physical, even though they're magical in nature, basically. You may think, oh, this attack from this enemy is a medical attack, but it's not, right? Unless it's actually a magic spell being cast. Stuff that like Ruby weapon countering with Ultima is, for example, like a spell cast, then the dodge magic defense percent matters. Yeah. And of course, with high enough dexterity, you can actually reach higher than 50% dodge chance. and 60% on like the magic clothes and stuff that. But yeah, I think you can even almost get to like 100% if you start getting up, but you need to be closest, of course, and stuff that. How much does he need? But yeah, it's pretty funny that we're almost caught up to the other thing, but yeah. Now, of course, a lot of people might be curious how I'm gonna do the Uno grind and stuff there, because, you know, the thing is, right, sure, you get to fight a few bosses and stuff there, but otherwise, if you're skipping most of the XP encounters, then it could be really, really bad and stuff there, because, you know, yes, you can do, of course, you can do Milk Soul at pretty low level and stuff that and still, you know, survive. Now, one thing would, of course, be to somehow get forced or get more, you know, because all that matters is, of course, that your health is high enough and stuff that, and that you have like elemental magic and then you have like fire and stuff that. Because it will have even with 1 star of elemental and stuff that, but if you get 2 stars, I believe you will cause it to get invalid and stuff that. But yeah, the fact that we're getting this fight pretty often is very, very powerful and stuff that too. And I mean, 300 is not a lot, but yeah. But the thing is, of course, is that the Uno grind. The thing is that the reason why I don't want to do Uno grind early is because Uno grind is just so much better than everything else. But I think it's, of course, also showing that, okay, like when you do Uno grind early, like how quick can you get there and get all the stuff you need, because you need Aqualung. You don't need Trine, by the way, you need Aqualung. Theoretically, Trine is good because, you know, while the enemies, they are machines and stuff that, but even with that, right, I don't think they're all weak to lighting because those machines are, of course, in an underwater area, so they need to kind of be more resistant to it, but Aqualung kind of slaps in its damage, same thing with the thing, but yeah. But I will actually most likely on that file be using, of course, Claude has to be used. But then all the other characters, I believe, or most of the other characters, won't be used. Like Barret won't be used. But it also depends, right, on what double growth weapon you can have at that point. Right? Because most characters will have their double growth weapon at that point. Right, including Kate would have one of his double growth weapon, he will have the black megaphone. Right, or is it the white megaphone? It's the one basically in Gongaga. It's the one that you would have. Okay. And I mean, I know that we could rush through the place pretty quickly and stuff like that, especially if we caught don't sing and stuff that. Even though that can be pretty dangerous to do sometimes and stuff like that, yeah. Okay, also going with the grenade setup for the elevator is actually very, very good and stuff that, you know. Because in the elevator you're forced to have, you know, to have Parrot in that encounter and stuff like that. Guess how much longer? Okay. I'm curious though, how close are we now to, we're pretty close to, we're very close to Bio 3 and Quake 3. quick to the game. The power of one game. But then there's so much stuff I have left like to upload and stuff like that. It is fun that I still have Legion comes with Xenoxis. It's just that I never uploaded the episodes. But then there was one episode of something that got too big for YouTube, like file size and stuff that, so yeah. But yeah, that's actually gonna do it, because we're actually gonna keep this short, because stopping it before it reaches 60 actually helps a lot with how long it takes to do. So anyway, we're gonna stop now, and then we're gonna